The DLC for the turn-based tactical RPG Warhammer 40,000 Chaos Gate Demon Hunters will be releasing on December 6. A new trailer outlines what's coming to the Duty Eternal DLC, which will add 2 new classes, new mission types, and a deployable frigate that will automatically perform missions for you. The Venerable Dreadnought class are heavily armed walkers that serve as both mobile tanks and tombs for the pilots. In Chaos Gate, the Dreadnoughts will be able to provide heavy fire support to their infantry counterparts. Just in time for the arrival of the Venerable Dreadnought is the second newest class, the Tech Marine. These Adeptus Astartes are soldiers that are well versed in dealing with their respective chapters as well as the cult of the machine. Tech Marines will bring an array of combat servitors to the table, each with their different tactical functions. One new type of mission, wherein a newly discovered technophage outbreak has started to take root, is also part of this DLC. Coming in a free update alongside the release of the Duty Eternal DLC are a few new enemy types that can't wait to sink their claws into you and your squad. Nintendo released a new trailer for Fire Emblem Engage last week that contained tons of actual gameplay footage. The Nintendo Switch exclusive is quite grounded in its Fire Emblem roots, but attempts something really different and fresh with the Engage system. Like all Fire Emblem games, Engage allows the character to control a large host of characters, all called units. Each and every character will have their own class and set of abilities that they can bring to the battlefield. However, each member of the cast will be able to equip emblem rings, not just our main character. Taking things further is the battlefield ability called Engage. As per the game's namesake, Engage allows the unit to fully embody the legend's prowess, even going so far as to gain parts of their appearance. Engage attacks are also ultimate skills that put the strength of both the unit and the emblem to the test, dealing devastating damage. There looks to be a host of characters to befriend, with at least a dozen in the game. Fire Emblem Engage releases on January 20th, 2023. Now for a little bit of an update for the Witcher Remake. New details released by the developer CD Projekt Red have confirmed that the upcoming remake of The Witcher will be an open world game. The title is being developed under the Poland-based studio Fool's Theory with creative supervision from CDPR. While the details have been slim, it is being developed in Unreal Engine 5 and is described as a story-driven single-player RPG with an open world. This is different from the original The Witcher, as there were technological limitations when it was first developed. The game will be a reimagining of the original 2007 RPG. Previously, it was announced that CDPR had several projects on the go covering the Witcher franchise. The code name Canis Majoris ended up being the remake, and the studio has a number of talented developers who have worked on other titles within the franchise. They've covered services for titles such as Outriders, Baldur's Gate 3, and more. Ubisoft have released the last chapter DLC for the action RPG Assassin's Creed Valhalla a week earlier than expected. The expansion is now available to download for free, closing out the story of Eivor. This marks the end of the post-launch content for Valhalla. The last chapter was expected to release in the first week of December, however players found out that they could already access the DLC. The official Assassin's Creed Twitter account made light of the situation, sharing that there had been a slight accident in launching it early, claiming it to be an unforeseen glitch in the Animus. As for what the DLC contains, there is a new quest called Shared History, which has Eivor and Roshan from Assassin's Creed Mirage joining forces. The update also comes with some new options, such as letting Eivor have their hood up at all times like a true assassin. Valhalla players can get their hands on some freebies, as each week players will be gifted one random free premium item from the Animus store, so watch out for these free items each Tuesday. The Game Awards will be taking place next week, and as per usual, there'll be a ton of gaming news and revealed during the live stream. One showcase promised is for Final Fantasy XVI. A post by the official The Game Awards Twitter account revealed that Final Fantasy XVI will get a live presentation from the producer of the game, Naoki Yoshida. As for what the presentation will contain, it's still shrouded in mystery, but hopefully we get a look at some more of the gameplay of this one. Previously, the developer at Square Enix has been releasing footage of gameplay, combat and more. However, one detail we still don't have is the exact launch date. So far the release window is for summer 2023, but it could mean a launch date might be announced during the show. In case you missed it, this entry of Final Fantasy is a much darker take on the franchise. There are also some changes with the usual Final Fantasy formula, such as Dominance being able to channel icon powers rather than summon. In Final Fantasy XVI, we'll be following protagonist Clive into the realm of Valisthea. It looks like the Game Awards 2022 is hotting up, so don't forget to check out the livestream, which will be happening on December 9th at 7:30 PM ET. Now, if you didn't think there was enough to do in Genshin Impact, well, you'd be wrong. There's one more thing that they're adding to the game, and it's a whole new mini-game called Genius Invocation, a tabletop card game coming with the release of patch 3.3. The next update will be releasing on December 7th, which includes a new activity in which you can challenge both NPCs and other players in the game. We got a new trailer that welcomes the Traveler and Paimon into the Cat's Tail, one of the previously inaccessible buildings in Genshin Impact. Our merchant friend Diona sits down with us and explains the basics of the game and presumably gives us our first basic starter deck. At its core, Genius Invocation's objectives seem to be quite similar to games such as Hearthstone, wherein you need to eliminate your opponent's characters. Elements of the game are broken down into 3 categories. You have character cards, action cards, and elemental dice. Character cards represent both the heroes and creatures of Teyvat, such as Diluc, Ningguang, Sucrose, Keqing, and more. Just like in the main Genshin Impact game, characters will have access to normal attacks, elemental skills, and their powerful elemental bursts. Each card is beautifully animated with art that is truly befitting of our great roster. In place of mana like in Magic the Gathering or gold in Tales of Tribute, Genshin Impact's Genius Invocation makes use of elemental dice. These powerful trinkets represent energies such as Dendro, Electro, Pyro, and more. Genshin Impact's version 3.3 update will bring along the usual new characters, arc conquests, additional weapons, artifacts, and events. You can check out patch 3.3 when it releases on December 7th. This week there were rumors floating around that Capcom would be making an announcement at some point about Monster Hunter Rise. There was a confirmation this week that the game will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox Game Pass on January 20th, 2023. The game is now available for pre-order, priced at $39.99 USD. Those who pre-order will gain the layered armor bonuses for their buddies, the Palamute and Palicos. The version heading to the consoles will be version 10, meaning it will have monsters and event quests that were made available on the Switch and Steam versions. The title adds a number of new features to the franchise, including new ways to get around, such as the Wirebug. You can also hop on your trusty Palamute to help traverse the maps. These little buddies even can help out taking down monsters. Monster Hunter Rise was first released for the Switch as an exclusive in 2021, then was later released on PC along with Sunbreak this year. Both platforms, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, will offer 4K resolution with up to 60 FPS or 1080p res with up to 120 FPS. If you have an Xbox Game Pass subscription, you can also check out Monster Hunter Rise in January at no additional cost. The subscription service has added a great number of games, and this one is no exception. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can also use Xbox Cloud Gaming to join the hunt. The Sunbreak expansion will be coming to these platforms in spring 2023. Starfield will be released next year, but the details are slowly trickling out about what to expect. The game's original release date was set for November 2022, but got delayed. A recent interview with the director and executive producer Todd Howard sheds light on the upcoming action RPG and even mentions a possible survival mode. The sci-fi game has some real-life influence, even coining the term NASA-punk as its inspiration. Todd Howard was interviewed by Lex Friedman, which covered a number of topics from the game's aesthetic to introducing more survival elements with a possible mode of its own. However, this hardcore mode may not come until later. For now, the challenges players will face will be focused on monitoring their spacesuits and avoiding space or planet hazards. This won't be to the extent of the survival games such as No Man's Sky. Hopefully, Bethesda will strike up a good balance between survival elements and the management of the game. Too many systems to monitor could bog down players in tedious management, but from the interview, it looks like the aim is to make the general experience engaging without sucking out the fun.
Well, that's it for the Week in the Wikis. Please join us again next week for yet another great week of gaming. Remember to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits. And budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks again for being part of this great community. Keep checking in with us with news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness.